Good evening. After I have finished reading A Child's Christmas in Wales by this wretched heathen, I have some nice words to say about our church. One Christmas was so much like another in those years that I can never remember whether it snowed for 6 nights and 6 days when I was 12, or whether it snowed for 12 days and 12 nights when I was 6. All the Christmases rolled down the hill towards the Welsh-speaking sea, like a snowball growing whiter and bigger and rounder. In goes my hand into that wool-white, bell-tongued bowl of holidays, resting on the margin of the carol-singing sea, bringing out the tall tales that we told by the fire as we roasted chestnuts, as the gaslight bubbled low. Ghosts, with their heads under their arms, trailed their chains and said, "Ooh," like owls in the long nights when I dared not look over my shoulder. Wild beasts lurked in the cubbyhole under the stairs where the gas meter ticked. "Once upon a time," Jim said, "there were 3 boys just like us who got lost in the dark in the snow near Bethesda Chapel. And this is what happened to them. It was the most dreadful happening I had ever heard. And I remember we went singing carols once, a night or 2 before Christmas Eve, when there wasn't a shaving of a moon to light the secret white flying streets. At the end of the long road was a drive that led to a large house, and we stumbled up the darkness of the drive that night, each of us holding a stone in his hand in case, and all of us too brave to say a word. The wind made through the drive trees noises as of old and unpleasant men wheezing in caves. We reached the black bulk of the house. "What shall we give them?" Dan whispered. "Hark the herald! Christmas comes but once a year." "No," Jack said. "We'll sing Good Wenceslas. I'll count 3. 1, 2, 3, and we began to sing, "Good King Wenceslas looked down on the feast." Oh, and then a small dry voice, like the voice of someone who had not spoken for a long time, suddenly joined our singing. A small dry voice from the other side of the keyhole. And when we stopped running, we were outside our house. The front door was lovely and bright, the gramophone was playing, and we saw red and white balloons hanging from the gas bracket. Uncles and aunts sat by the fire. Oh, perhaps it was a ghost, Tim said. Perhaps it was trolls, Dan said, who was always reading. "Let's go in and see if there's any jelly left," Jack said. And that's what we did. So now I would like to talk about our church just a little bit. Something I remember Sue Niedringhouse saying. She was moved and grateful as we all stood in a circle to receive communion. The loving warmth that came from all of us to each other. It is a loss that I try to recreate in other ways. Sometimes I can, but in the depth of this midwinter of disease, fear of economic hardship, and egregious late leadership, is a struggle, and the chatter of voices in my head can get loud. This morning, the sun shone through a clear glass of water in my kitchen, and it was beautiful. But it made another voice think of the Tigris and the Euphrates rivers, which spring out of the Armenian mountains, pouring down into the valley of original civilization. Now they are only 3 inches deep in places. A gentler voice advised me to not think of this now, not on this beautiful Saturday morning. So I thought about Senegal and the Imam there who shepherded his people. Wear masks, wash your hands. Not a politician or an infectious disease doctor, but a religious leader. And Senegal has only the second worst cases of COVID in the world, New Zealand being the first. Where are the bishops and rabbis? In Paris, a restaurant now closed, a huge barn of a place, opened its doors again to the homeless people of Paris during these cold Advent nights. The owner was helped with a small grant from the government. The good voices in my head started singing, "O come, Emmanuel." They hum on as I think of sitting in our beautiful, simple church. From where I sit there, I can see you all. Such a good, believing congregation. I am grateful for my own simple Christmas and wish you all love.